Approximately this time last year, I was sitting in this same crowded gymnasium, leafing through the graduation booklet and listening to speeches as we bid bon voyage to the class of 2015. Throughout that morning, the students and other community members who stood at this podium enumerated the many feats of cooperation and polished maturity which came to be the hallmarks of that class's collaborative and communal spirit. Things like the bulletin board in the mailroom, where students publicly post their college rejection letters in solidarity with one another, or the silent conversations that took place on the walls of the school and partially inspired the installation of our new whiteboard walls, are all part of the continued legacy of our immediate predecessors. And as I was preparing for this speech and trying to think of our grade's collective achievements, things that embodied the cooperative nature of the class of 2016, I'll admit that I drew a blank. In fact, when it comes to communal or collective feats, we seem to have performed rather underwhelmingly. Our class, which inherited the mantle of the blue team from the class of 2013, managed to come in last place all 3 years we participated in Color War. Our junior year featured neither a stateside nor an all-grade Shabbaton, the latter simply because not enough people got their forms in, the former I'm still not sure why. In contrast with previous classes who have been praised for maturity beyond their years, our grade would seem to embody that age-old, self-centered, and individualistic stereotype of adolescence. It might seem that we are incapable of seeing far enough past our own immediate experiences to come together in solidarity or cooperation of any kind. However, as I was writing my final letter from the editor for the Artichoke, again satire magazine, and I was reflecting on the importance of angst and irony in combating injustice, I was reminded that there is much more to being a stereotypical teenager than just being lazy or self-absorbed. Young people have a really unparalleled aptitude for detecting injustice and driving progress and change. Our class was behind some incredibly important initiatives and movements in the school, which have brought about significant improvements and advances in our community, even if they were undertaken with a certain amount of teenage angst, outrage, or irony. Let's hear about a few. Thanks to the tireless and youthful persistence of Student Council's senior officers, GAN has at long last designated an all-gender bathroom, furthering the school's mission to be as inclusive and accessible a community as possible. Members of this very grade were behind the founding of Girls in STEM Club, which combats the societal elements of the gender imbalance in many academic fields and careers. As well as the first ever organized high school attendance of a J Street event. Among my classmates before me are also many of the most instrumental leaders in the ongoing movement to adapt the GAN dress code to be less disproportionately restrictive of women. Even many of those class of 2016 initiatives, which seem less serious or progressive, stem from that same uniquely powerful adolescent outrage at unfairness and inequality. Boys Modern Dance Club, for example, though it was established with, I think you'll grant me, a healthy serving of teenage irony, has prolonged the life of an art form which many of us were very disappointed to see removed from the curriculum a couple of years ago. Similarly, Grateful Dead Club, which spawned the band Dipped in Moonlight, and which may look from the outside like a bunch of guys goofing off and playing hacky sack, has provided an outlet for a number of GAN's most talented musicians who wanted more ensemble opportunities than provided for in the arts curriculum. Within this spirit of progress and combating oppressive forces, it is no wonder that the battle hymn of the Republic, the fight song of the Union in the Civil War, and a song which celebrates the struggle toward morality, has become something of an anthem in our grade. Many can attest to the fact that at the end of our final day of classes, we all gathered beneath the front arch and sang at the top of our megaphone-enhanced voices, "Glory, glory, hallelujah! Glory, glory, hallelujah! Glory, glory, hallelujah! His truth goes marching on." All of these aforementioned achievements may not have been triumphs of grade-wide unity or unanimously collective pursuits. But the notion of many distinct voices singing in harmony, if not unison, is woven deep into the fabric of Gan's pluralistic philosophy, woven even into the very separate but interlocking strands of the Havdalah candle in our logo. It even finds precedent in this upcoming week's Torah portion, Beha'alotcha, wherein Moshe once again finds himself confronting a kvetchy and dissatisfied Israelite nation. God takes pity on Moshe and arranges to divide his burden amongst 70 other elders, who all come to gather in the tent of meeting. These elders begin to prophesy together and speak in ecstasy. However, two of them, Eldad and Medad, did not join their colleagues in the tent. Instead, Eldad and Medad proclaimed their prophecies out in the midst of camp for all to hear. Joshua, Moshe's successor-to-be, begs Moshe to restrain them, fearing that they intend to usurp Moshe's leadership and challenge him as the sole bearer of divine truth. Moshe responds quite simply, "Hamekane atali, umi yiten kol am Adonai nevi'im, ki yiten Adonai et rucho alehem." Are you envious on my behalf? I would that all of God's people were prophets, and God would bestow his spirit on each of them. Looking before me, I see nothing but divine spirit-endowed prophets. I am thankful to Gan for providing the space for our many individual voices to be heard and grievances to be aired, as well as for sometimes playing the man to whom many of us are so desperate to stick it. We are obviously immensely privileged to attend a school as abounding in resources, opportunities, and love for its students as Gan is. And I imagine that at times it might have been understandably difficult to take our indignation seriously. But as we turn toward the future and toward the end of our adolescence, I have no doubt that just as Eldad and Medad did, we will all continue to pursue and proclaim our individual truths in the midst of camp for all to hear. Because glory, glory, hallelujah, our truth goes marching on. Thank you.